Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the 2021 Council Silver Beaver Recognition event. And if you're having dinner, then it's Silver Beaver dinner. Tonight we're going to honor a group of very dedicated volunteers. You will note by their outstanding service that they're worthy of recognition and the award of our council's highest honor. In part, they represent all of our great volunteers. We thank you as well and are reminded daily of the great contribution you make to Scouting. So prepare yourselves for the posting of the colors, Pledge of Allegiance, the Scouting Oath, and the Scout Law. I'd like to introduce Troop and Pack 60 Color Guard. We'll post the colors tonight. Former Senior Patrol Leader AC Myers will do the collar.
I'll move that off a bit.
Color guard attention, and right. Color guard forward march.
We're camping.
Yes.
Yes,
Doing what we're supposed to be doing.
that's right. That's why.
Being scouts.
That's why. It's part of the reason why this is. I think Milton, it was very nice of him to not.
The flag.
Thank
Puppet.
Okay.
Does have an ag on it, does it?
No.
Yes. Under God.
Color guard reform ranks. Color guard about face forward march. Halt. Color guard ease, audience. And would you please come up and with us in the okay.
Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to faithfully scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
So now I would ask that you prepare yourselves for the invocation, and former Senior Patrol Leader AC Myers is going to lead us. AC.
Heavenly Father, we pause to praise you and thank you for all our blessings. Help us to keep our honor bright and to do our best as we do our duty in serving you. We pray that you will watch over all of these men and women as they serve our council through their work in scouting. We pray you will sustain us and help us keep our bodies strengthened and our minds awakened, and we follow paths of righteousness. We pray that you will help us to remember our obligation to obey the Scout law, not to simply recite the words, but to live by the words. Let our good deeds reflect the Scout oath, and let us never tire from helping other people at all times. Father, bless these scouters and bless the Boy Scouts of America. Amen.
Thank you, KC Myers. KC is working on his eco project tomorrow, so Let's have a round of applause for two parents. So thank you. And the way this works in our virtual world is no surprise to those of you who have been zooming around this community for over a year now. And hopefully you can enjoy dinner at home, the steaks and the sauteed delights that you've prepared for tonight while we enjoy tonight's program. Now, 2 years have passed since we last gathered for this recognition event, and it seems like much longer since the last 14 months feels like a lifetime. I know we've gathered very infrequently over the past year. We hope that that is beginning to change, and we look forward to gathering in person for this event next year. At any rate, we thank you for spending your evening with us. It's good to be with friends, to celebrate achievements and accomplishments and recognize those who have given so much to our council and the young people that we serve. I want you to know that Oregon Trail Council remains strong. It's a strong council, and we can all be proud of contributing to its success. Our goal is to grow scouting and reach more families as we move forward, and each of you have played and will continue to play a role in this success. So thank you and congratulations to our scouters. You might recall 2 years ago, we were at Lane Community College for a recognition dinner, and at that time we recognized the following scouters with the Silver Beaver: Amy Beach of Cresswell, Gary Lander of Corvallis, Barbara Jackson of Roseburg, Laura Pinella of Pleasant Hill, and Monique Schaefers of Corvallis. Last year, we were unable to gather, and since their selection, Kent Wallace of Roseburg and Phil Ermer of Corvallis have been recognized within and by their scouting districts. Congratulations to the both. We do have one more recipient from 2019 that we will recognize tonight with our 2020 recipient. Like all of our past Silver Beaver recipients, all of these individuals have made a remarkable contribution to our council, our scouts, and our community. How about a round of applause for all of our Silver Beavers for the last 2 years? At this point, I'd like to welcome our council scout executive, Scott Impicova, to the podium for his comments. Scott?
Thank you very much, Norm. And I'd just like to start off by saying thank you for your patience and as we started to get this going. And we hope that our technological virtual event goes off without a hitch from this point forward. So, you know, as Norm said, it's been 14 months since our world's changed. Our world changed. It's been interesting to say the least. We've had some hard times during those 14 months, something the whole world has had to deal with. You know, especially in scouting, we've had some really difficult times. We were unable to have summer camp last year in our council. We had to postpone or cancel events and activities throughout the course of the year. We had a loss of membership just due to the fact that families weren't able to participate. So they just, you know, got away from scouting because we weren't able to be active with the program. And, you know, in some cases, we even lost a little bit of support just because, you know, families and businesses were falling on hard times. Through all of that, we found a way to survive. You know, we found ways to scout on, I think, and a lot of those ways might have ended up being virtual. But we appreciate the fact that all of you out there involved in scouting continue to keep the scouting program going. As we moved into 2021, I think we started to see more and more scouting activities. And as we continue to make our way through the year, we see more and more units actively scouting. One of the things I'm very, very excited about is the fact that we will have day camps this summer. We will have our Scouts BSA summer camp program going on. We've got 3 weeks at Camp Baker. We have 2 weeks at Camp Malacca scheduled for this summer. And we're going to find ways to do it in a COVID world. We already know what that's going to look like. And I have to tell you, seeing scouting, and we've had some units that are meeting in here on a regular basis, and just being able to go out and do some activities. The Order of the Arrow had their service weekend not too long ago, and we had quite a few people out there. And I think people really enjoyed being back together and seeing those scouters that they really just haven't seen for 14 months or so. So it brings me great joy to see that, see scouting coming back and getting active again. And I do want to say that there'll be some tough times ahead, as we continue to deal with COVID, and even as we have to work our way through with the national bankruptcy. It'll have an impact on every council, but I think we know how it's going to affect our council. And I think we see the light at the end of the tunnel. I am, again, encouraged by what I'm hearing at the national level as well. I was just on a meeting yesterday with people from scouting throughout the United States, and very encouraged by what I heard as it related to the bankruptcy and hopefully a settlement, so that will enable us to just move on and scout on as we go forward, along with getting out there and giving young people the opportunity to get back and involved in scouting. And honestly, it's all because of you. Our leaders that inspire me and give me hope for scouting's future. You have found ways to make scouting happen for our youth. You did not stop scouting. You kept working, whether it was at the unit level, the district level, or the council level. You did what you needed to do to continue our path forward. It's our volunteers that confirms to me the scouting program will continue to be a strong influence in our society and in the lives of our next generation of leaders. For that, I'm extremely grateful for all that you do for scouting. My biggest regret for tonight is that we just can't list everybody that's been involved in scouting and made scouting continue to happen for the youth in our council. But thank you once again for all the time, the talent, and the treasures that you give to the scouting program in Oregon Trail Council. Now, it is my pleasure to present tonight's first two awards. The President's Award is a unique award in Oregon Trail Council. I came here and my first year here, it was kind of like, okay, so what exactly is the President's Award? Well, it's something that we've always given out, it comes from the council president. Unfortunately, Chris couldn't be here tonight with us. I love the fact that I get the opportunity to present these awards because I know these two individuals very well, and I'm excited to do so. But as I said, there are no official prerequisites, no tenure requirements, no predetermined standard. It is, however, an important award because of the recipient's continuing contributions to our council, Oregon Trail Council. Although everyone in the room and everybody out there is worthy of such an award, these individuals stand out because of the extra effort that they put forth. It's with their dedication, along with the rest of the great Oregon Trail Council volunteers, that can stand before you as the Scout Executive for Oregon Trail Council. You are all a vital part of our mission, and it is now my honor to recognize two individuals who stood out these past 2 years. Our first recipient, President's Award, and I do have to tell you, I get a little input, I go back and I have some conversations with some of our past President's Award recipients and get some feedback from them, and great feedback that, as soon as somebody mentioned their names, my thoughts were, yeah, you're right on. That's perfect. That's the person that we really do need to recognize. Now, most of you know this individual from Camp Baker, this first individual from Camp Baker. However, her time in scouting started with Pack 100 and then Troop 100. She was active with the troop as a mother of a son that would become an Eagle Scout. She also supported the troop in many ways, such as handling the medical records and helping with Oregon duck parking. In June of 2017, her husband moved out to Camp Baker to take on the job of Camp Ranger. Soon after, she retired from her job and moved out to join her husband. Since that time, Ann Goff has been at least, and this is no slight to Stan, but she's been at least 50% of the Camp Baker Ranger team. Ann has taken trainings on her own dime to make sure that she was current and certified for everything Stan was certified for. She's built structures, cleared brush, helped customers understand camp guidelines, along with a multitude of projects and jobs, all to make Camp Baker a great place and a place that scouts and youth from the community want to be. I would venture to say that Stan and Ann work a 90 to 100 hour week in most weeks. Just remember that while Stan is a council employee and then therefore paid for 40 hours, 40 of those hours a week, Ann does all that she does as a volunteer. She does it with a passion to make Camp Baker the best scout camp in the West. I can't say enough about Ann's commitment to Camp Baker and achieving the vision we all have for it. It is my pleasure and long overdue to present Ann with the 2019 President's Award. Ann, if you're out there, wave to the group, please.
Thank you. There's so many who deserve this. Thank you.
And I would like to say that Ann and Stan will be in the council office on Monday, so we will make sure that we present to her this to her on Monday. Again, thank you very much, Ann. We appreciate all you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, again, it is my pleasure to award the Oregon Trail Council's President Award for 2020. This President's Award recipient has spent time in many different roles with Cub Scouting and Scouts PSA, including Cub Master and Scoutmaster. After working at the unit level, he got involved at the district and council levels. There he spent time as a Roundtable Commissioner, a District Commissioner, and as leader with our National Jamboree contingents. After work took him away from council for a short period of time, he came back to the area. After Randy Hill came back, and without a moment's hesitation, he stepped into a major role with the council. In September 2016, Randy became the council commissioner. In that role, he worked with and supported the commissioner staff of each of our 7 districts. The overall objective was to support our packs, troops, teams, crews, ships, and posts to ensure that they were getting the assistance they needed from the commissioners, districts, and council. When all of that happens, we have something special that creates excitement, quality program, brings in new members, and scouts that continue to stay and advance through the program, meaning we all win. And if you ask me, society is the biggest winner because of the quality of youth that comes from the scouting program. During that time, Randy would be seen all over the council supporting our districts and units, to the point where I would go out to something and Randy would look at me and say, "What are you doing here?" I think he was out there more than I was as far as the activities were concerned. Well, in January of 2021, we all decided that we had a great new council commissioner coming on board, someone we will hear from in just a few minutes. And that after 5 years, it was time for Randy to move on. So you might ask, where did he move on to? Since the beginning of January of this year, Randy has stepped into the role of Council Vice President of District Operations. So Randy didn't move on. He just moved to something that's going to continue him scouting and putting in the number of hours that he does put into scouting. In his new role, Brandie works with the district chairman, vice president of membership, vice president of program, vice president of finance, council commissioner, and program chairs to once again ensure that our units are getting the support they need to provide a quality program for their youth. Now, it would be my guess that Randy has spent a good 30 to 40 hours a week on scouting since 2016. And that's probably a low estimate. Sometimes more when you count the trips to Washington for area conferences and area meetings. Through that time, he has done so with a great attitude even while sitting in the car in Seattle, Tacoma, and Fort Lewis rush hour traffic and listening to the impatient scout executive that is driving complain about the wait. And then providing a white knuckle drive the rest of the way home after getting through the worst of the traffic. He still had a smile on his face and enjoyed what he was doing. All of that does not warrant an office at the council, then at least it should explain why Randy is a well-deserved recipient of the 2020 President's Award. So it's my great pleasure to present Randy with the 2020 President's Award. Randy, wave to the group. I'm sure you're out there. I hope you're out there. Randy will be in the council office soon, and we will present him with the award at that time. And here's the 2020 President's Award. So Randy, we'll see you soon. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Oregon Trail Council's Council Commissioner, Claudette McWilliams. Claudette?
Thank you, Scott. As you said, I am Claudette McWilliams, and I am the Oregon Trail Council Commissioner. I have the pleasure of working with the districts as we strive to bring a quality scouting experience to every youth, family that has the desire to be involved in the scouting program. Having trained leaders is one of the major keys to a quality scouting program. There are many other factors, including advancement, outdoor experience, and commissioner service. Having the funds to run a quality program and having enough volunteers to share the workload remains a vital part of our ability to not only provide a quality program, but to grow. Our district leaders do a great job in these areas, and I congratulate you all for making it through a very tough year of scouting and for moving scouting forward in your area. Tonight, we want to recognize some of the commissioner staff for all their work. Some of you will be recognized at your district events later in June, but a few of them I would like to present tonight. Oregon Trail Council appreciates the efforts you put forth to provide quality scouting for our youth. Tonight, we have an Arrowhead honor to present. Additionally, we want to recognize the efforts of one of our district commissioners, two of our unit commissioners, along with a rising star in the commissioner staff. As I present these awards, please wave, just as we've done already this evening, so we can recognize you. I'm going to start with an award that is from 2020. And before I do that, I'm going to ask my technological assistant, Rob. Oh, there we go. Okay, all righty. The award from 2020 is a Distinguished Commissioner Certificate, and it adds to what you may already know about the significant history and scouting of Eugene Reynolds. His district stands apart in that it consistently achieves a high percentage of unit contacts because of his continued leadership. Moreover, Eugene consistently maintains a positive attitude which inspires others, instilling optimism in both his staff and other members of the District Key 3. And it's worth noting that he has continued to do so despite challenges in his own personal circumstances. I have a Distinguished Commissioner Certificate, which comes with its own knot that we will be presenting. Probably should have delivered it to the Scout office. I apologize, Eugene. But Eugene, are you there? in the room this evening?
Eugene.
Okay. So would you wave and let people know where you are? I perhaps, I've got the gallery view on, so I'm not seeing you. But please join me in congratulating Eugene on his Distinguished Commissioner Certificate. All right. Rob, do you want to move to the next slide? To undertake a significant leadership role under the challenging circumstances of the last year requires a heartfelt commitment to service. Completing training for a new position and then immediately taking action after stepping into a new role demands both perseverance and ingenuity. Our rising star has demonstrated all of these characteristics in the process of quickly becoming a significant contributor to the Commissioner Corps. When presented with an idea, this person leads the way in taking action to implement the objective of that idea. For example, following a discussion of the need to reach out to scouts left behind following recharter, our recipient immediately set to work to arrange and conduct a telephone bank that led the way for the calls made at the council level. Whenever there's been a request made of commissioners, whether it involves providing training, data collection, or personal invitations to den leaders to attend Roundtable, the recipient accomplishes the task completely and without delay. With an eye to the future, this person has successfully recruited new commissioners despite the limitations imposed by the pandemic and Zoom. Next slide, please. I can't wait to see what our rising star, Brandie Gillespie, will do in the future. We have a certificate which we will present to Brandie. Brandie, can you wave so you can be recognized? Congratulations, Brandie. Next slide, please. It's appropriate that our next honoree is being presented with two separate recognitions because this scouter serves in two separate positions as both a unit and Roundtable Commissioner. This individual has satisfied all the requirements needed to earn an Arrowhead honor, which recognizes proficiency in the use of Commissioner tools and techniques to provide effective unit service. A separate certificate of service with distinction is being awarded to this commissioner because they have consistently gone above and beyond in answering the call for help, not only in their assigned area, but to benefit the entire council as well. That was the case with providing assistance to unassigned units to complete recharting, providing quality programs for Roundtable, and more. This person is to be commended for consistently delivering quality service under difficult circumstances. He leads by example in a way that inspires others. It is my pleasure to recognize, next slide please, Rush Hoag with his Arrowhead Honor Certificate and Arrow, along with a Certificate of Service with Distinction, which will be delivered in the future. Rush, can you please wave so you can be recognized? And I will be getting this certificate with your to you. Congratulations. Next slide. Does somebody who has a youngster in the background want to mute their microphone? That would be wonderful. Thank you. The next award that we have is a Unit Commissioner Key and a Certificate of Service with Distinction. Our next honoree has satisfied all the requirements needed to earn the Unit Commissioner Key, which recognizes continuing training, performance, and tenure by commissioners. Just last month, this person completed a master's degree in Commissioner Science. The certificate is accompanied by a knot. A Certificate of Service with Distinction is being presented for the exemplary work this individual has done as a unit commissioner and his activities beyond his assigned duties. When called upon to serve as an assistant district commissioner by the current district commissioner, he stepped forward without question. It was enough to be asked to serve, and he did. In doing so, he continued the high caliber of work that we saw from him as a unit commissioner. Colleagues have benefited from his insight, expertise, and willingness to brainstorm solutions during our monthly district commissioner meetings. It is my privilege to recognize, next slide, please, Jim Smith with a unit commissioner key and certificate of service with distinction. Jim, can you please wave so you can be recognized? Congratulations, and please join me in recognizing Jim. Next slide. Our District Commissioner of the Year is an exemplary scouter whose sustained volunteer efforts demonstrate his strong belief in the core principles of scouting. He has been awarded both a bachelor's and master's of commissioner science, in addition to an Arrowhead Honor and Distinguished Commissioner Service Award. He is a Silver Beaver. His willingness to try new ideas has set him apart and confirms his adaptability and creativity when it comes to problem solving. He is a mentor to his commissioners, most recently making sure that they were fully proficient in the use of commissioner tools. I have appreciated his willingness to unquestionably implement new ideas, like personally calling each den leader to invite them to Roundtable. I'm not the only one who has had their perspective expanded by his comments. His fellow leaders have also benefited from his willingness to share his wisdom through our discussions. Most importantly, he has demonstrated the unique ability to motivate others to act and get things done, attributes and hallmark of a true leader. Thank you for inspiring us to be the best commissioners that we can be. Next slide, please. It is my honor and privilege to recognize as District Commissioner of the Year, Mike Rice. Mike, I can see you on the screen, so can you wave so you can be recognized? And please join me in recognizing Mike as District Commissioner of the Year. And next slide. And I believe, Scott, I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you, Claudette, and congratulations to all of our award recipients. Let's give them one more round of applause. Now it's my pleasure to convene this Silver Beaver Court of Honor. As we present this year's Silver Beaver recipients. On behalf of the National Council of Boy Scouts of America, I call this Silver Beaver Court of Honor to order. The Silver Beaver Award is the highest award given by the Oregon Trail Council. It is a national award, and the number of Silver Beavers a council can present is limited. The Silver Beaver is presented to volunteer scouters who provide over time outstanding service to scouting and serve their service to their community as well. And so tonight we'll be presenting two Silver Beaver Awards, one from the 2020 calendar year and one from the 29 calendar year. The honor roll of Silver Beaver Award recipients in our council is lengthy. And the first is O.F. Stafford, who received his Silver Beaver in 1934. Many Silver Beavers are still active in scouting today, and several of them are with us tonight. Will all those who hold the Silver Beaver or Silver Fawn Award please wave so that we can recognize you. To those who have been recognized with the Silver Beaver, we thank you for your leadership, your loyalty, and your tremendous contribution. Let's give this group a round of applause. Now tonight, as we announce each of the recipients, we ask that they stand along with their spouse if present, wave, and the citations will be read in brief. It only partially summarizes the record of distinguished service and achievement of these outstanding scouters. Now like to call on Ross and Halliburton. Ross.
Good evening. I'd like to present some information about our Silver Beaver recipient. He's aware of this already. Eugene Reynolds. Could you come forward, please? Very proud to assist in this process. I've known Eugene for quite a while. This is a real quick summary of what he's been doing. He's been in scouting almost his whole life. On his application, it said his #1 love is his wife, Mary. His #2 love is, of course, scouting. Most of you know about Warehouse Woods. That's where he's almost all the time now. Building, shelters, cleaning, mowing. About every week we hear something that needs to be done, and of course we get phone calls from that. As a commissioner, Eugene has been kind, he's been consistent. We don't hear strong words from here. He just that helps the unit commissioner be successful, and by doing that, it helps the commissioners then want to go out and visit the units that are there. I'm always looking for good people to continue to do that. Within the community, this kind of leaked out that Eugene and Mary have helped set up numerous libraries with the Head Start School program. They do 1 to 3. I'm sure it's many libraries that you have done, but that's kind of a secret that is kind of let out. And so he's done many things. Here's lots and lots of different other things. He's got lots of awards. And so I'd like to present the Silver Beaver, the Art of Silver Beaver, to Eugene as well.
And in addition to the ribbon that goes around Eugene's neck, we also have the certificate. We have the knot. I'm not real sure where he's going to find room for it, but we do have the knot. It's right there. For Eugene. Here you go. And we have a medal for him as well. So well deserved and long overdue again because it was the recipient from 2019. So Eugene, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Our second Silver Beaver recipient this evening is David M. Birkin of Corvallis. I'm going to call on Bill to make the presentation.
He needs to unmute himself. He needs to unmute himself. Tell him to unmute himself.
Now it's fixed.
I'm here.
Good evening, folks. And Dave said he's here somewhere.
Yep, we're here.
Oh, good. Thank you. And so I want to introduce Scoutmaster Dave, but you know what? When Dave got into scouting, it wasn't BSA. His oldest is a daughter, and back then she couldn't join BSA. So he was a scout volunteer for 8 years as she worked her way through Girl Scouts. And then his boys got into Cub Scouts, and he became Cub Master. But I don't think that was his favorite job, because he was the Pinewood Derby chairman for his pack, probably for 10 years. And for the district, he's going on 9, and he's going to run it for the council next month. I think that's one of his loves. And when we did Scoutorama, he brought the track and Legos for the public to make Lego cars to run down the Pinewood Derby track. Everybody had a blast. So what's he do for a living? He's a manufacturing engineer and he commutes, except during COVID, he didn't have to commute. A happy guy. So he was a Cub Master for, I don't know, 5 years, I think. And he was Cub Master of the Year in Benton District in 2013. He was awarded the District of Merit, Award of Merit in 2015. And he became the Scoutmaster of Troop 2 in 2018 and was Scoutmaster of the Year in 2019. And many of you may know him from Wood Badge. He completed his ticket on the 2018 course, and he's on staff. Some of you probably met him last week. And so he also has one of my favorite awards, and that's the Scouters Award of Merit, because that's the one that the boys nominate you for. In his case, he has a boy troop. And no, we didn't do that as adults. The youth nominated him, and that's a special award. So tonight I would say this guy is really a Scoutmaster of really good quality. His troop did not slow down. If you looked at the video pieces, there was a piece from Troop 2 about their Silver Creek Falls hike. They've done lots of hikes. They've done lots of bike rides. They've gone camping near to home. They've gone to Camp Baker. They're the staff people for the Cub weekend that's happening next weekend beyond this one. And tonight, he was at Camporee getting his troop going. Sherry had to haul him in to wherever she could get to a link so that he could be here. So tonight we present the 2020 Silver Beaver to Dave Birkin of Corvallis. Congratulations.
So it is my pleasure to not only have Dave in my district, but also be part of his troop. He is absolutely fantastic. And we have this wonderful plaque for him, but I can't.
It's not showing up.
Plaque's not showing up. We are giving him the plaque. There you go, Dave. Hang on to that. And we have his, we're trying to figure out where the camera's at. We've got his patch and his pin and his necklace ribbon. I'm going to put that on now. And again, Dave, thank you for being in our district and such a wonderful Scoutmaster.
Thank you very much, Sherry and Milt. I really appreciate your nomination and your friendship and your belief in me as a Scouter.
Thank you so much, and let's give our Silver Beaver recipients one more round of applause. Well done. Now we hand the microphone to Claudette Williams for closing comments.
Thank you, Norm. And thanks to everyone who's presented this evening, the award recipients, and a general thank you to all of you for what you do for Scouting. In closing, I'd like to remind all Silver Beaver recipients to please send us individual photographs in uniform with their awards so we can post them on a website and social media and publicly at roundtables and fireside chats. Thank you for your attention this evening as we've recognized and honored the Scouters who have made Oregon Trail Council what it is today. Seeing their outstanding accomplishments, I think that you will agree that we have weathered the pandemic. We have done that through collaboration, ingenuity, and perseverance. Most important has been our mutual fundamental belief in the core principles of Scouting. That's why we're excited to see a future approaching that will be normal while holding on to the best ideas produced by our adaptability. As we go forward, we will continue to honor the principles of Scouting in a way that will help us maintain our relevance to meet the needs of today's youth so they'll have a better tomorrow. Thank you and good night. And that concludes our presentation this evening. And I know at least one Silver Beaver recipient who has a dinner reservation.
Thank you all very much. We appreciate your attendance tonight, and thank you for all you do out there for Scouting. Have a good evening.